Ooh, this light is gonna be a problem. That is no good, huh? Hmm. I want to talk a bit about my journey and also share practices that helped me in, let's say, the last 5 years. I feel like I learned so much and I'm still growing, so it's really exciting. Probably also exciting for me to look back on this video in a year, probably that's enough, and realize how much has changed yet again.
Run away together, go and live by the sea, yeah. I know a place and it's pretty far away where we could leave tomorrow and be there by Saturday.
So the first advice that I'd have, I think it's really important to try everything, to go everywhere. It's what I did. Oh, I didn't try everything, but whenever I had the opportunity during my studies or during work to go someplace new, to work with new people, meet a new culture, meet a new version of myself basically, because you have to find your place there and reinvent yourself, I would do that. I think it's so helpful to step out of your comfort zone, if you will, and I definitely recommend that. You can only win by trying new things. If you're in doubt whether you should quit your job, do that new thing, start your own thing, go somewhere if you can right now, do so. With studying myself, I more or less naive just moved places, and I always had that mindset that if something wouldn't work out, I would just leave again. And that's what I did, and most times it paid off and it worked, because you adjust, and there's no bad places, there's no bad people, there's just sometimes the things don't come together in the right way. So I know that if a place, I rarely had that, but if there was a place that I didn't feel at home at or that I didn't like, I knew, and that has happened as well, that if I would go back later, I could potentially really, really like it, because circumstances change, and the environment changes and you change, so your outlook changes. And yeah, that's a really helpful practice for me, to always step out of my comfort zone, try new things, and stay curious, I guess.
It's pretty simple, but that is all we need. We would have each other and live off the coconut seed. I know you.
With that goes making bold choices. Do unconventional things. If you really have a passion for something, but it's hard for people to understand where that's coming from, why you do the things you do, or why you want to go the places you want to go, I would still encourage you to stick to that. Make bold choices. If you feel like you want to color your hair pink, you should do that. Like, if you hate it, you'll dye it back. Make bold choices. It's a helpful practice. Let me think, what was the last bold choice I made? Probably moving into my own apartment. It's something that I wanted, but I felt like, well, it's not that necessary. I did, and it gave me such peace of mind. It was uncomfortable at times. I'm so glad I did it. That was my last bold choice, I think. Life hasn't exactly been exciting lately.
The ocean and you love the sun. We could take our clothes.
One practice that probably impacted my life the most in like the last months and years is reducing what I own and reducing not just physical things but also how I spend my time. It's a much more conscious decision now, like who I hang out with, the people I want to date. Minimalism has been getting so big in the past couple of years, and it's for a reason. It's because we're all constantly bombarded with so much information. For me personally, it has been really good to reduce. And I don't throw stuff away, so either I will sell what I don't need anymore, I'll give it away, I'll upcycle. It's a really good practice to wonder if that item that you're holding on to is giving you more joy than it could be giving someone else. For me, this came from a very practical point of view, I suppose. I was traveling a lot, mostly for work, university, but I always enjoyed being able to, well, get off a bus or whatever and just go and not have to worry about where do I leave my luggage, can I check in yet. It is also, for me, it was always a safety thing as well. Like if you carry around a lot of stuff, you make yourself more of a target, especially if you travel by yourself. It's just, you're less of a target if you carry less and you worry about less. It's a win-win-win-win-win. So I've been doing that for a long time, and now that I have my own apartment, I have gathered everything that I own. So I always had boxes at my parents' house, and now everything is here. So my mission this past year has been to let go, and it's not always easy. Sometimes it's really emotional as well. It feels good, and I know that it's the right thing for me to do and for where I want to go and how I want to go, travel, like whether we will be able to travel again or if I just move into another place. I only want to own what, it sounds so cheesy because it's been said a million times, but I just want to have what brings me joy. I like, it might be a bit weird, I like messy places. I like messy people. They tend to be really creative, and I'd say I'm creative as well, so we get along usually. I like when people have homes that tell stories, but for me, I want to do that with less, and I do believe that's possible.
We'll grow old like 2 leather bags, leave footprints on the beach.
Another helpful practice of mine, and I feel like some of these really I know for sure the next two I have developed during the last months, and they're part of me creating a routine for myself. I've been in home office for since October, and it's May now, and we don't see a lot of. I have a call incoming, but apparently can still record, so that's what we're gonna do. Creating a routine is so helpful. I feel like it's everything. Like, I'm not talking a morning routine, a nighttime routine, use this cream and go to bed at that time. Make your own rules, I don't care. But I think it's really important, and it has been so crucial for me to have a routine. And what I like to do, to give it a little spice on my own note, I really like to set challenges for myself. So with the beginning of the new year, I said I want to walk 10,000 steps every day, and I've been doing that. it's May, so I walked a lot of steps. It might not be a lot of steps for somebody who lives in downtown, is walking around all day anyways, has kids maybe that one has to run after. But for me, I live in a really tiny apartment and I work from home and we're in lockdown. So me sitting in the park right now is extremely exciting, but I don't walk around that much usually. Having that set goal of 10,000 steps, I know that I'm leaving for a walk 1 to 3 times a day, which is good. It forces me to go outside either before work or after work, definitely during my lunchtime, and it gives me a new perspective. I see new people, I see the changes in the seasons. I just receive information that's different from my screen time. I think it's really, really healthy for humans to get that visual and audio input. When I go for walks, I rarely listen to music, a podcast, or talk on the phone, but usually I try to be aware of what's happening around me. I think it's really beautiful and it's a practice that I want to continue. Yeah, I know 10,000 steps is what people say, and I've read studies that actually I think something like 7,500 is what's meant to prolong your life. I don't know. I don't care. For me, I'm doing 10,000 steps and you're welcome to join.
As we walk through the sand, we'll grow old like 2 leather bags. Let the sun kiss our skin as we run hand in hand.
Last month, in April, I did a running challenge. Sports has been always something I did. Sometimes I would do it because I felt like I had to. Sometimes I would join sports to socialize. And it's been really helpful for me to get to know the city that I just moved to when hell broke loose. Getting to know new people, the city, I saw different neighborhoods, which is good, and then everything closed down and I had to find something else, because for me mentally it's also so helpful to move. Movement is healing. It's for me it's really important. I ran 100 kilometers in April, which I didn't think I could. Running has really grown on me. I used to do it because I felt like I had to, but now I love it. The first 2Ks, they still suck every time. And yeah, it's the feeling, people say it's a feeling after. I actually also really like the feeling during running. Not the first 2K, 1 or 2K always suck. But it's good, and I work out in the morning. I feel like whatever happens after this I already accomplished, and I get such a runner's high. It's a real thing, at least for me it is. Endorphins are real. Yeah, I don't think I ever want to give running up, but I used to have problems with my knees and ankles during running, which is most likely due to me not pacing myself. I can be really stubborn, I guess. I have a really strong mind, and my condition is also pretty good, so I don't think I would have much troubles running far distance. It's just that my body is not used to it, and so what helped me was to really pace myself. I would, for months actually, like, you forget that kind of stuff, so that's why it's really good to track your runs. I don't think you have to track your whole life, which we tend to do, but for me, seeing how far I was running was really good. And then also pace was kind of important at some points, because if I would run way too fast and I wouldn't notice, like I would start feeling bad, and then when I would have dragged my pace, I could see, oh okay, it's because I was running way too fast. And as a beginner, you don't feel those things. Like you kind of get an idea for the length of your run and how fast you run, of course, but I found it really helpful to track how far and fast I was going. I had like a watch, like a runner's watch. In the beginning, I hated that, but somebody was like, oh, you should like break up your runs and walk in between. And I was like, well, that's for the weak. You know, if your mind is telling you can do it. And yeah, no, but I did that eventually because I wanted to run. I ran, I think 4K, but I would run 2 and then walk in between and then run 2. I wouldn't tell people because I was embarrassed. I did that for a long time, and then also when I upgraded to 6K, I think I did 3 and then I walked and then I did 3. And you know, also if you run a lot, you get your steps in real quick, so that's a plus, that's a bonus. Yeah, that's a tip I have. Break up your runs for a long time. Looking back, I didn't realize that I was doing that for months, but that really helped. And then I love to run in the morning. It's easy for me to get out and run when the air is fresh, nobody is really around. Yeah, you don't really have a lot of time to think about, oh, should I run, shouldn't I run, like where do I run, who's gonna see me, what else am I gonna do today? No, you go after you wake up. I go before breakfast. It's another tip. If you run in the morning, and I would also just do that if I had food the night before. If you wake up and you're hungry or you don't feel energized, then that's a bad decision. But for me, running on a full stomach is not an option. I will probably lose my food. Sometimes I have a coffee or a date, or both, in the morning, and then I usually go. Running later in the day is harder for me. Yeah, no. Motivation is just not there. The last thing that is a big part of my journey and that has been a very helpful practice, which kind of ties in with having routines and guts, I guess. Unfortunately, it is that way in our society. What has helped me tremendously over the past year, this Sunday, I will be in therapy for a year. So in the beginning, I used to go every week, now I go every other week. And it has helped me so much, and I'm really grateful that I am lucky enough to live in a country where I do have health insurance, and that I was lucky to find a place, because that is a big issue. One of the things that people think about, it's definitely a thought that I had as well, like whether or not their problems or their issue, their concerns are big enough to go into therapy, to take that place essentially away from another person that might need it more. It's a terrible thought to have, because no issue is too small. And yes, there are people probably struggling more than you are, but you as an individual, if you want to do good and if you want to help people, you have to take care of yourself first. If you are in an airplane and you are giving your mask first to the children and you pass out if there's an emergency, you are no longer helpful to them. So if you are in the position that you feel like you need help, you are willing to work on yourself, there's no question. Yes, you deserve a therapy place. It's a topic that is not talked about a lot. It's heavily stigmatized, and I feel like we are the first generation where it becomes okay to talk about it, and that's why I'm talking about it. You have done nothing wrong in your life if you're in therapy. It's not your fault. I'll tell you about my experience. I actually had physical symptoms of stress last year that were so heavy that I said, okay, I need this to be taken care of. And whatever is the underlying reason, you then can work with. But you have to, it's all about awareness, like getting aware of your environment, your thoughts, and how to be. It's beautiful. For me, it was really great to have a routine, to be there every week. The things that stressed me, the worries that I had, I felt like I was able to give some of that responsibility to somebody else. That was so helpful. That was such a relief. So yeah, happy 1 year to me. I'm really glad that I did that. I feel good. I feel brave. Yeah, it's if you feel like the world situation we're in right now is weighing on you heavily, you have a reason. If you want to talk to somebody, that's a reason. If you don't have a reason, but you still feel like something isn't right, that's a reason. Like I said, I had physical stress symptoms that I needed to be taken care of, and that was my reason. I hope this was helpful. I felt like I talked about so much. It's gonna be beautiful to edit for the next days. Yes, a little bit about my journey. None of this I did 5 years ago. Like, I didn't enjoy having a routine because I was giving a routine. I was not giving a choice. I was told to be in university at a set time, to be at work at a set time, I was busy. This past year, I haven't been so busy. Intentionally as well. I'm not working full time at the moment because I wanted to have time for the routines that I set. It's a good choice. Love it. And obviously it's also I'm extremely privileged because I don't have to feed more than my own mouth. I don't have children. I don't have a partner that I have to support. I'm aware of that. So if you don't have a lot of time, just try to find a routine that can still fit in. 5 years ago, I didn't worry about walking enough steps because I was always walking around anyways. I was stressed. 5 years ago, I don't think I knew about minimalism. I definitely know that way back when I was a young girl, I owned a lot of clothes and I loved always having the latest items. At some point, hopefully you'll find what you like and you don't have to rely on what's in trend as much. Fashion is still fun. Owning stuff is still fun, but just make it intentional. These are some of the practices that really helped me and changed my life so much. Some of these really have become such a huge part of myself. I don't think they're gonna go anywhere. I'm really grateful. I feel like I'm making healthy choices for myself, and hopefully maybe you got something out of this. maybe an inspiration on what you can do, try going for a walk. Walks are the best. And don't forget, it's okay to reinvent yourself. I can't wait to reinvent myself a million times more. Yeah, I hope you're staying happy and healthy and that you're doing well. Take care of yourself. I hope I got across what I wanted to. I'm wishing you nothing but the best. And let me know, please let me know in the comments if you like having a chat, because we don't do this enough. And we never do this here, so do you like having a chat with me? If you do, you should comment. Let me know questions, ideas of what you like to talk about, stuff that interested you, maybe something that I said. It's like this weird, I don't know how to close this. I enjoyed this. I feel good today, and I hope you did too. Bye. I will also do a running challenge in April, and I ran 10,000. Nope.
What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? We could have it all, we could have it all. When will